Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the walk. Today is Thursday, August 22nd, and we are up to Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 14. We are only going to be going through 2 verses today because there was a lot of information in here, and well, there's just a lot to cover. Yesterday, we saw that the 70 elders in their private chambers have etched into the walls those creeping, detestable things, and that idolatry is just plain running rampant. We are up to verse 14, which says, "Then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of the Lord, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz." Now, I had to look for this. In the ESV Fire Study Bible, the note said that Tammuz was a Babylonian god of vegetation. When people saw plant life die, they mourned Tammuz's death. Women turned to gods such as Tammuz for blessing instead of going to God himself. So here we have plants dying, and these women are weeping for Tammuz. They are going to Tammuz instead of going to God for the things that are important to them. In the Cultural Study Bible, I got more information about this god of Tammuz, and it said it is generally admitted that this refers to a Mesopotamian rite of lamenting over the god of Tammuz. This is the only reference to Tammuz in the Bible. In the Mesopotamian myth, Descent of Ishtar, Tammuz is Ishtar's lover, whom she betrays and sends to the netherworld to take her place, thus putting into effect cyclic resurrection. This was a Mesopotamian way of explaining the seasons. While Tammuz was in the netherworld, the vegetation on earth was dying, dried up by the sun. In the verse Ezekiel is describing some elements of religious syncretism taking place among the people of Judah. So they are taking on these religions that are around them instead of remaining true and faithful to Elohim, to the God of Abraham. They are not staying loyal to him. Verse 15, "Then he said to me, 'Have you seen this, O son of man? You will see still greater abominations than these.'" Now, so far this week, we have seen God say that 3 times to Ezekiel. These abominations are detestable. They're horrible. God is very jealous about them. But God is saying there's going to be worse abominations that you're going to see. In the Apologetic Study Bible, they had a note for verses 14 and 15. And I want to read 14 and 15 before I read this note, because otherwise it gets kind of confusing. 14 said, "Then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of the Lord, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Then he said to me, 'Have you seen this, O son of man? You will see still greater abominations than these.'" So here's what the Apologetic Study Bible note said. "This is the only biblical reference in the Babylonian cult. The women weeping for Tammuz were mourning the Babylonian equivalent of the Assyrian god of vegetation known as Dumuzi. They believed the cycle of seasons represented the dying and rising of Tammuz. In Babylonian mythology, Tammuz was the son of Nimrod and his wife, Semiramis. He was killed on a wild boar hunt and immortalized by his mother as a nature god and an embodiment of the hope of resurrection depicted in the cycles of the seasons. Women wept each year in the 4th month at the onset of spring to induce a Tammuz to rise again. Today, the 4th month on the Jewish calendar is still called Tammuz. It is not clear why the women were worshiping in the 6th month instead of the 4th. But it may indicate that Tammuz worship had become institutionalized year-round. So what these people did is they would mourn the god of Tammuz in the hopes that spring would bring forth that vibrant green life instead of going to the God of Israel. So we've got to remember that note on that study on the north gate. You can see that video on Friday that I did on Friday, August 16th. The north and the south gate had significance. It was when you entered in through the north gate, you had to go out through the south gate. If you entered in through the south gate, you had to enter in through the north gate, go out through the north gate. Why? Because it symbolized dying to your sin and rising to your new life in your relationship with God. So here we have that command of acting out that resurrection and walking into new life has become so twisted that now they are looking for resurrection within this God of Tammuz. This idolatry is just running rampant. And in today's culture in the United States, the idolatry is running rampant here. What are we putting our hope and trust in? It's got to be Jesus Christ. Nothing else is sufficient. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.